Hello, so let's speak about my AI Notebook Tutor solution to transform your static Jupyter notebook into interactive learning experiences. But let's speak about the pain with notebooks. They are widely used, but there is a lot of limitation in terms of our learning. Um, the notebooks lacks dynamic learning interactivity. I mean, you can play with the cell, execute the codes, and you can get a lot of content in it. But it leads to a lack of understanding and retention. Most of the time, at least for me, once we've done one exercise or homework with a notebook, it's hard to get into it again weeks later. Um, there is a lot of navigational challenges because the notebooks are often complex and difficult to navigate. Let's see an example. This notebook is about, fine-tuning. It's excellence. I mean, there is a lot of knowledge. It's state of the art, but it's so long. It is really, really, really long. You have to scroll, scroll, and scroll down again until eventually you find a Balrog in the end. And so why it matters? Because, well, the Jupyter notebooks are extensively used in technical education. Uh, they are really an excellent format for what we have to do. And we know that interactivity is really crucial for deep understanding. And thanks for the last presentation. And repetition is the key. So to truly learn and retain knowledge, we must use the power of repetition. And so if you ever felt the pain, here is the AI Notebook Tutor, which brings to you the ability to ask questions about your notebook and get detailed responses. You can also ask to get personalized quizzes from the content and flashcard generation. And flashcard is really interesting because then you can upload it to a solution like Anki, if you know it, and start playing with the flashcards on the way with your smartphone. And this is how repetitive you can get. And so this solution really turns your notebook into an interactive tutorial, and it enhances learning. It facilitates the deep understanding and retention. How it works quickly. First, well, we have to load the Jupyter notebook, and we will chunk it, embedding, and put all the knowledge in a vector store that we can then retrieve with a semantic. And of course, there is the user that will ask questions in the chat, and these questions will end up retrieving. We will retrieve context information from the notebook and generate answers, quiz, and flashcards. And we have different agents that are here to do this. Let's go and have a look at the solution. So here you can see you need to browse and open a file. So I'm loading a DOLM, a domain adapted language model, a notebook that is really interesting, state of the art, and there is no danger in it, no Balrog. And then you can ask questions about it. So how to clone the DOLM repository, for example. The question, it takes a while to generate the answers. So this is actually the codes from the notebook. And we can ask for a quiz generation, create a quiz about the queries generation, which is a large subject in the content. It might take a while, so I'm monitoring how long it takes on Langsmith, and if it takes too much time, I have another solution. Let's see. Okay, let's go. We have it, and I will create flashcards next, so we can see the quiz. There are 5 questions. What is the purpose of generated queries function as discussed in the context? Summarize documents, generate hypothetical questions that can be answered using document corpus to evaluate the quality of documents, translate document into different languages, and then you get the answer at the end. And the creates 10 flashcards about retriever creation. You can ask for 20, you can ask for 5. It is not mandatory to provide a subject, but if you want the flashcard about something very specific, they are there. So you see the question and answer pairs, and there is a CSV file you can download here, and that would help you to import the flashcards in Enki, for example. So what is happening on the background? So this is a multi-agent workflow component. There is a user input. It goes to a supervisor agent that routes, that is a router. If you ask a question, it would route to the QA agent, which use a RAG tool to get the context back, generate the question, and you get the answer. Same with the quiz and the flashcard agent. There is another flashcard tool that will actually create the CSV files for you to download. About the technology stack, so I mean leverage of LangChain. This is a framework for building LLM application. LangGraph that allows me to create the multi-agent and stateful application. Langsmith for observability solution. Chainlit for the front end. Of course, OpenAI LLM and Qdrons for the vector database. We can have a look at all the LangChain that I'm using, LangChain core, community, LangChain, and Langspace here. And there are good example. This is an example of a traces in Langsmith. When you ask to create a quiz about the query generation, you can actually see all the steps involved in the generation. So this is why it takes some time, but with GPT-4 Omni, it's really nice. And in conclusion, well, I think this tool has the ability to transform static notebooks into enhanced learning. And in the future, well, I'd like to be able to support more file types, maybe add more quiz types, a video script coach. Like in AI Makerspace, we have to make video and maybe like a video script coach that could guide you on what to tell. And yes, there are a lot of ideas to be created. And also, I'd like to create a more dynamic experience, like improve the workflow. You know, the quiz comes in a static form, and the idea would be like the AI would ask the first question, you give the answer, and it grades you and gives you the right answer before, and the second question, etc., etc. Well, I'm done with my presentation. Thank you for listening me.